Our speaker today, Dr. Sherry Sandos, and she is a mixed animal veterinarian. Hello. So is it afternoon yet? No. Good morning-ish towards afternoon. How many more days of school left? 9. I heard 2 weeks. All right. So how many of you know what mixed animal means? Anyone? For a piece of candy? What does it mean?
Means like you multiple animals or breeding animals with 2 types of animals.
Exactly. Perfect. For you that didn't hear what he said, I work on a lot of different kind of animals. So not only dogs and cats, but I do horses, cattle. I've done bison, which is buffalo. So I am a general practitioner, is what they call it. I practice anything that walks in my door, I can treat.
Except snakes.
Except snakes. So here's one in particular. This was during vet school. He was a neuter. He is a 7-month-old Bengal tiger that belonged to the circus. And he lives in St. Louis. He still works for the circus for them. He's a little bit older now, but we also got to work on a white tiger that had a lung infection. So we had to put some tubes in the side of its chest to drain fluid out of its lungs. That was another one that we had to work on. So why did I choose this career? I knew I wanted to be a vet when I was 8 years old. So the gentleman that wrote this book was the veterinarian on call. My dad had a cattle herd, and I was 8 years old. He woke us up in the middle of the night and said a cow was having trouble having a calf. And so at 2 o'clock in the morning, my dad loaded up my sister, Mrs. Beach, and my brother, who was a senior in high school, to go to the vet in the middle of the night to help this cow. Well, when we got there, the vet said, Dr. Baker, who's a renowned horse vet in Nebraska, he loves to do horses and he's very well known. He was the vet on call that night. And so he said she needed surgery. So we did surgery, and right when we started surgery, there was a drop of blood that come down the side of the cow. We heard this noise behind us, and it was our brother, Wes, had fainted. Hit the brick wall that's like in this building. It knocked him out, knocked everything off the wall that we were standing next to, and knocked him out. So Mrs. Beach and my brother and my dad proceeded to go to the human hospital while I stayed and helped Dr. Baker with the cow. From that point on, at the age of 8, I knew I wanted to do this career of being a vet. So, how to prepare if you want to be a vet. If any of you guys want to be a vet in this room, I suggest pay attention right here and get good grades. That's going to help you out the most. Veterinary school is very competitive. It's hard to get into, so the better your grades and the better you pay attention, it's going to help you considerably. Animal contact hours. If you have a pet, how many of you have pets? If you want to go to vet school or do anything with animals, keep track of every hour that you feed the animal, that you water the animal, and write it in a little notebook, because animal contact hour, say you don't have the best grades, that's going to help you in addition to grades to get into vet school, because it's pretty competitive. Also, the number one thing, and I'm still doing, I'm 35 years old right now. I'm currently writing a 50-page document trying to get some of my loans repaid. And what's important in that application, even at my age, even though I've been a vet for 7 years, is volunteer hours. That I'm hugely involved in my community makes that application look so much better for what I'm applying for to repay my student loans. So that's something that's going to be huge in life and help you so much in life, is volunteer work in your community. So keep volunteering in your community. So education, like I said, 8 years of school, 4 years of, they like you to have a bachelor's degree, or usually you can't get accepted into vet school. I went to Chadron State. You can actually pick any university in the United States or in Nebraska and get your undergraduate education. Mine was a bachelor's of biology with an emphasis in chemistry, even though I don't know anything about chemistry. And then you go on to 4 years of vet school. I went to the University of Missouri. There are 26 vet schools in the United States out of the 50 states. So it doesn't limit you to where you want to work or where you want to live. You can go to school wherever you would like. So, and I chose Missouri. Now they have a dual program, so if you go to UNL, if anyone's interested in, there's a program where you do 2 years at Lincoln at UNL and then 2 years at Iowa, but that program started about 4 years ago, and I've been out for 7, so. Here is my graduating class. I'm kind of in the center. What you see in this picture, that's kind of interesting. Not all the white coats, what else? A lot of girls, you get a piece of candy. So, yes, there were 7 boys out of 65 of us. 7 of them were boys, the rest were females. But, so girls, don't let it deter you. We can do this job just as good as the boys. And boys, we need some more of you. So, guys or gals, everyone's welcome. We all can do the same job. Everyone's very capable. If I can accomplish it, you guys can too, of going to vet school. So, yep, and of those guys, only 2 of them want to do large animal, like I did, with horses and cattle. The rest are small animal surgeons, and one's an ophthalmologist. So, this is a degree, it's something to be proud of, but this is a huge degree. It actually stands about this big, hanging in my office. It's something to be proud of, but this is my actual degree, a copy of it. So this is a degree you'll receive, and it's well worth it for going to 8 years of school. Uh-oh, Marcy. Oh, someone. You broke it. Technical error. Time out. Technical. Would my computer die?
Might have. There's no.
The screen died?
Yep. Sure did.
Uh-oh.
You have the charger here.
In my room.
I got it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Time out.
Wing it.
Good thing it happened to me. So Brenda would have been like, what?
Oh, I didn't need mine. Mine's just
So yeah. I don't even know where we're at. We're education, right?
Yep.
So if you want to specialize, so you could go on besides the 8 years of vet school. If you wanted to specialize mean you get board certified. So you, and beyond vet school, beyond the 8 years of schooling, you would do 4 more years. 2 years of an internship, 2 years of residency, and then you would be what we call board certified. There is a few in the state. One actually is in particular here in Grand Island, Dr. Bronk, if any of you know him. He is a racetrack veterinarian for equine. He does equine medicine. So if you wanted to specialize, you could do just eyes and dogs and cats. You could just do surgery. But basically, if you're ophthalmology, which means study of eyes, you can work on any animals and study just eyes. Oncology, does anyone know what that means? Anyone? Ah, the girl in the back.
Cancer.
That's the study of cancer. And so there's board certified people that only treat cancer in animals. Actually, I have a classmate that's in Washington State right now studying, doing oncology. I also have another classmate that's in Oregon. She's dermatology, specializes in just skin of any kind of animal. So there's all kinds of specialty. If there's actually something really particular you're interested in and don't necessarily want to study at all, you can specialize. So specialize is another form. If you don't want to go to 8 years of school, what else? Something else you can do. Some of my favorite people that I work with every day are veterinary technicians. That's an assistant to me. They can't do surgeries like I do, but I rely on them every day and love them for what they do for me. They may answer phone calls and questions that that they can simply answer if it's a simple call. They get my surgeries ready for me, they scrub, they take care of the patients. If I have to step out of the office, they make sure they're still getting taken care of. They only go to a year and a half of school, roughly, but they can't do everything I can do, like surgeries and stuff, and I have to give the rabies vaccine, but there's other vaccines that they legally can do just fine. And can get, if I happen to be out of the office all of a sudden, they can get a patient stable for me and help me if something needs critical care right away. They can get it helped. So that is some other things are groomers, dog walkers. Those are some things very similar to my career. If you're interested in animals but don't want to go to 8 years worth of school, those are some of the things that they can do.
It'll take a little bit. Yeah, my battery doesn't last very long. My PowerPoint's Sing a song, Carrie.
I'm not a very good singer.
Oh, there you are.
Someone else is good over there. They'll have the floor.
Here he is. Take it away.
Yeah, she's been doing all day. Yes, this is Lorenzo's turn.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't empty my bag when I got here. I just brought it off here.
As it gets done, I'm like, what if I just took this one?
So another thing about my career is it fun? Of course. It's absolutely awesome. I love what I do. And that's something when you pick your career, pick something, take time deciding what you want to do in life because you absolutely need to love your job. Do I love my job? Yes. Every day, a typical day is never the same on my job. Some days I'm inside doing surgeries all day. Sometimes I'm out working cattle. Just like children need vaccinations in life to prevent them from getting tetanus and diseases, so do cattle. You need to keep cattle healthy, and so you have to give them vaccinations. Yesterday, for instance, I worked 150 baby cattle just giving them shots and preventative care. So every day you do something different by giving them, that's what I love about my job. A typical day in my world is I do something, it's never the same. I do different things every single day. And every single day I may see something different. I never ever stop learning. Even at my age, I bet even when I'm 80 years old, if you ask me, am I done learning? No, I'm never done learning. There's new technologies out there, there's new medicines out there. There's all kinds of patients I see where I've never seen it before, a case, a condition that they have. So never ever stop learning. So when we talked about education, beyond vet school, we talked about specializing. So here's a list of some of the things you could do if you want to specialize. We talked about ophthalmology. There's some people that just love exotics, lizards, turtles. They just do exotic medicine. They may just work in a zoo. I actually have a classmate that works in San Diego and only works in the zoo. She actually works on just the dolphins. So if you have a particular thing you want to specialize in, we're not limited. When you specialize, there's veterinarians all over the world. I have a great friend that lives in Australia. She takes care of kangaroos. So you're not limited. This career does not limit you. You can live wherever you want to live and do whatever you want to do. Just like my sister, Mrs. Beach, how do you think I learned everything I know about the veterinary career? Just because I had a teacher, a vet school teacher. So you could be a vet school teacher, get your DVM degree, and then go into teaching. So there's so many things you can do. How many of you ate breakfast today or ate food for lunch? Who do you think inspected everything you ate and made sure it was safe for you to eat today? Who do you think did that? Who's in charge of that? A veterinarian. They're at the top of the scope of inspecting almost all the foods you eat, whether it's fruits and vegetables, eggs, meat. They're the ones that allow it for you to buy it, for it to be fed, for us to eat. So most all the food we eat gets inspected by a veterinarian. That's our jobs. If you pick to go into food service area. And like I said, you can live wherever you want to live. Whatever you want to do as this career, it's available. There's animals all over the world that need treated, so. And we talked about a little bit of those. So here's my typical day. Excuse the pictures and some of the blood if anyone don't like you, but here's what I may do on a daily basis, is all surgeries. This is actually us plating a dog's leg. Just last week, actually, that had a broken leg. So I may see emergencies all day. I never know when I wake up in the morning. That's what I love about my job. It's never the same. I may do just general preventative work. I may do surgeries all day. I let it be a surprise when I go to work and look at the schedule. I get to be a dentist every day. I float horses' teeth. That means brushing a horse's teeth. We do that also. So you never know what you're gonna do. That's what keeps it fun. Is it mentally and physically tough? Yes, I would say both. Here in particular, how many of you trim your nails quite often or bite them like I do? This is a cow that it weighs approximately 1,500 pounds, and I'm trimming her nails, her back nails. So she walks in this chute and it tips up, but it physically restrains her so I don't get kicked. But I'm tough enough and I'm small to do my job, so you guys can do it just as well, I'm sure. So it's physically and mentally demanding as a career, but when we talk, is my job fun? Yes, I love my job. Not only because I don't do the same thing every day, because it's also interesting. This is a new piece of equipment that a lot of people have. Does anyone in the room know what this is? Any guesses? This is a laser. It's a new laser out there. And what else do you notice is on the dog? What is on the dog?
Sunglasses.
Those are doggles, actual doggles. They make goggles. Doggles, and we are actually wearing goggles also. Not doggles, we're wearing goggles because this is a class 4 laser. And what it can do, everyone that's in the same room, whether it be the patient, the animal, the dog, or the cat, horses don't necessarily have to wear them because we don't actually shoot the laser in the horse's eye. But it's a class 4 laser, and it can actually harm your retina. And so you don't want to burn your retina and lose your vision. So we put the goggles on to protect our eyes and the dog's eyes to keep them safe. So yep, you get to work with technology. If any of you like technology, it's a good career to get into because technology is ever changing in our field and surgery and everything we use a lot of technology. Except I'm not so well on the computer, as you've seen. So the most satisfying thing about my career is the success stories, probably. I know so many patients that have touched my heart and I have impacted people's lives. So much out there, and that's why I love my career. I have a list of so many patients that I took care of and so many thank you cards where owners, it's their family. You're dealing with their pet. That could be the only person they have left on an old, say, an elderly lady. That might be that's the only family she has left. And so it's very dear to her. And you have to keep that in mind and have compassion when you work on people's animals. Not only small, but also large animals. In particular, we work on a lot of champions, and you got to remember that. Those people depend on you keeping their horse going to be competitive in the world. In the show world, it's really competitive. They rely on you as a vet to keep their pet or their horse or their cattle in the show world. So that's what we do every day, is we impact people's lives. One very dear to my heart, we'll talk about Louie. How many of you know horses? Seen horses? Anyone seen horse? Like horses? Anybody know world champion rodeo? What's it called? Does anyone know? a really prestige rodeo out there. It's called the NFR. It's World Champion Horses and Competitive Horses. And I want to introduce you to someone in the day. Louie, the owner of this horse, is a good friend of mine, and she didn't think he was going to be very good. She come home really late one night, and he had actually cut his neck open on the left side, all the way down to his jugular vein. He cut all the muscling, and he was pretty young at the time. And she says to me, "But I think he has potential to be a good horse." Well, she was right, because years ago we worked on Louie and sewed his neck back up, and he's a very competitive horse now. He's actually won the world. And so I want to introduce you that I worked on to Louie. And here he is. There we go.
Louie, or Louie.
You can see that little mark on his neck on the left side.
This is a 10-year qualifier. And hey, 1372.
Lisa, hey, here we are where we've been so many times before. And this time, it's got to be special. For one thing, you're closing in on $2 million. You're probably 50,000 away. Man, just a couple of nights and you can do that.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that, but yeah, that's just crazy numbers. But yeah, it feels great to be here. It's been a while, so in the winner's circle, but yeah, thrilled to be here with you.
And I'll tell you what, the competition is really, really there. These young kids coming on, have you ever seen anything like this?
Just the sport in general, it just gets better every year. The race is so tight, it always is, but it's it's crazy to have it be 100ths of a second apart with so many girls each night, and it's awesome. I hope it's fun for the fans as well.
It is, for sure. And some of these gals, they get out and go to a whole lot more rodeos than you do. So you kind of cut down the number of rodeos, and yet you made it anyway. Is that for you or for Louie?
It's for my family. So yeah, I really didn't start till the 4th of July again this year. So I was a little bit panicked, to say the least, but I knew we had our work cut out for us, and we had an amazing 4th of July and July in general. So yeah, it worked out. And I got to spend the month of June with my kids in high school rodeo and such.
Oh yeah, that's getting pretty important in your family. And then you needed Grady to drive you around on the 4th from. He's right here with you.
Well, he's here with me, but let's see, during the 4th, I'm not sure where he and the kids were. They were going to some amateur rodeo, so I was on my own. But
They had their own agenda. Okay, Louie, how old is he?
Louie's 13 this year.
13, and looks strong and good. Fastest time of the rodeo night by 100, something like that.
100th, yeah.
And getting faster every night. 3 rounds. Last night you placed. Tonight you win.
Yeah, and commend them for the ground conditions that, enabled it to be great, and everybody, I think, handled it well tonight, and whether you're at the top of the ground or the bottom of the ground, that I think there was money won, so that's very exciting to know that you have that opportunity throughout.
Well, this horse is something special, and you know Louie very well. What are the idiosyncrasies? What are the, kind of the fun things that you've got to do to get him psyched up and ready to go?
It's more about keeping him quiet and focused on his job. But he's always psyched up, ready to go do his job. He's amazing. He loves his job. So I think that's what helps him do his job as well as he does. And it's just a matter of keeping him happy, healthy, and ready to go each night.
You have to work on kind of being calm, because he reads the excitement that you have and can get a little bit too high, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit, so just as quiet as he can be and concerned.
All right, so that is Louie. And so not very many people can say they've worked on a renowned world champion. But you never know when something that's very special to someone's going to walk into your door and become special to you. So that is Louie. So that's a good part of our job. We do have challenges, just like every job. Every job out there is not always going to be perfect. And We have long hours that are seasonal, just like everyone does with their job. Some are longer than most. We have a lot of on-call shifts, just like Louis come to me after hours. It was late in the middle of the night when Louis came to me. And so you will have some, with some jobs, you do have on-call hours, that you have to work around your family schedule. It's nice to be a small animal vet and only practice indoors and air conditioning and climate controlled, but I'm not that kind of person. I love my job for, if it's 80 degrees outside, I get to go out and get a suntan and be outside and working cattle. And so, but I also like that I can do small animal surgeries inside and climate control when it's blowing and snowing in Nebraska. So that's why in Nebraska, it's kind of special to work where we do, with all the different elements. They can be a hindrance, but they can also be nice. Now, probably the toughest part of my job, if someone asks me, is in our field, in the human world, patients have to sit there and suffer. In our world, I say that we, even though it's a hard part of my job, we are very blessed because they legally let me, because I have the knowledge base, to know when a patient is suffering and I can end their life. And we call that euthanasia. And we take away their pain and let them go to heaven. And we can legally do that because we have the education base to do that. But that is the hardest part of our job because sometimes that's someone's family member that you're working with. So the hardest part of our job is we care so much for our patients and our clients. You can get tired because you take care of your patients and your clients way more than you take care of yourself. So that's something, the toughest part of our job is compassion, I think, but also one of the most wonderful part of our job. So special talents you need, in order to get through 8 years of school, you do need determination. You do. And you also have to have that compassion that I talked about. In order to love animals every day and many animals that you see on a daily basis, you have to love animals to go in this career, really like them. It helps. And as many of you probably text messages someone, talked on the phone, packed your bag, ate your breakfast, you got to be able to multitask to do our career. You might be prepping a surgery, you might be talking to a client up front, you might be getting some product, you might be working on some paperwork. You have to be able to multitask. So it's a good talent to have, to be able to multitask. You'll probably make a good vet if you can multitask pretty well. So one of the most rewarding projects as a veterinarian, I want to introduce you to the lady that's been making noise in the back the whole time.
And it's not Miss Beach. It's not Miss
Second
Beach.
to Miss Beach is Miss Cheerio. She wants to come say hi to everyone. She's been wanting to be loose to say hi to everyone. So Cheerio is my own personal dog. Cheerio is about 6 years old. But why Cheerio is so important, though, is I accidentally run her over with a pickup. And you can see how well she's still doing after that incident. About 2 years ago, she got run over by a pickup, and what it did, it broke her pelvis. So you can see a break in the pelvis here. The pelvis is like a box. So not only did it break this side, but there's also a break up in here that you can't see, but her left side is definitely the worst. So when she wants to go fast, you'll see her hike that left back leg up and just carry it and run on 3 legs, or she'll actually bunny hop, like going down the hallway this morning, you'd see her bunny hop on the 2 back legs to trying to go faster. So it hasn't slowed her down much because she had a good veterinarian to take care of her. And she's still with us. So, and it's amazing what sometimes you don't think they'll pull through, but she's pretty determined. And you can tell she kind of has a little bit of limp on the back, but it doesn't slow her down too much.
Did you glue that together, the bones, or how did you get those bones back together?
Some do surgery. Hers was just a lot of hospital care.
Okay.
And a lot of physical therapy is what we did for her. You'll see some patients with wheels and things.
Yeah.
But it actually didn't harm too many of her nerves because we kept her stable where she needed to be, and with good physical therapy, it didn't harm her nerves.
Nice.
So yep. But yep, it doesn't slow her down too much now. So one of my questions to you guys is, what kind of dog is she?
Wiener dog?
Wiener dog.
Okay, what's the technical term for wiener dog? The actual breed name. What? So that's one thing, if you're thinking about being a veterinarian or going in our career, it really, really helps to know the breeds of dogs and cats and rabbits and learn them now. It's something you can learn now because it helps you figure out, because the thing about being a veterinarian is they can't tell you in the human world, like, oh, my knee hurts. Cheerio can't tell me that on a daily basis. Or I can't tell her, hey, Cheerio, hold still. You know, like our human doctor says, hold still, I'm gonna draw your blood. No, dogs just don't hold still all the time when you tell them to. So that makes our job a little challenging. And the thing about, so Cheerio is actually a dash hound, is what she's called. And it helps to know breeds in particular because it can help you diagnose a lot of things. Many breeds out there are associated with certain conditions or certain diseases in particular. So what disease or condition is most known or common in these kind of dogs? And to help you give you a clue is what is different about her compared to a lab, her anatomy or the way she's made up. What is different? What's different about her?
Kinda had a good one.
What?
Good job.
Exactly, you nailed that. So these dogs in particular are noted to have intervertebral disc disease. And what that is IVDD, and it's just called a slip disc. That can actually, it's the discs in their spine can actually move over and get tweaked and can hurt her spine and make her paralyzed in the back end. So in order to keep her healthy, what I do is keep her weight controlled, keep her at a healthy weight. It keeps help her so she don't have as much weight to carry around and keep her back a lot more healthy. Yep. Any other questions?
You have to do continuing education. And how often?
Very good question.
Who's the
Yes.
speaker in the back?
You have to do continuing education. Every 2 years, you're required to do 32 hours of continuing education. But if you go to a weekend seminar, that's about 16 hours. So it kind of, it's not actual hours of sitting and going to 32 actual hours in class. They count the whole convention as 16 hours, basically a weekend at least. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday convention. And that, so you'd have to go to 2 of those once a year, basically. You have to go to, and you just learn about new upcoming technologies, new medicines coming out there. Yep. Any other questions? Nothing? Go ahead.
What type of animals do you like working with?
I'm actually really like horses and cattle. I also love the dog and cat, but I also do a lot, even though I'm small. I do a lot of cattle and a lot of horses. I do like dentistry on horses, which is, we call float, which is kind of brushing their teeth with a special tool.
Did you tell them how many you work, like how many cows did you work with the other day? You said.
We did 150 calves yesterday, and the day before we did 400 cows.
Can you imagine that, you guys? 400 that she had to take care of, get immunizations and things like that too.
Yep. And that's just sometimes a half a day or a day, and you do that every day. So it can be kind of demanding at times.
And do they bring them to you or do you have to go there?
And that's the thing, we have special chutes that we travel with us and special pickups, or a lot of people have chutes or things we can utilize at their farms that. Yep. Any other questions? Who in here has pets? What's the oddest pet in the room? I wanna know. Who has anyone have a lizard? Ferret? Someone had a chicken in the other
Yeah.
class. I know a lady in the back that has chickens. This lady had one in her house. Okay. Ferrets, iguanas. I know someone that has birds. Mrs. Beach has birds.
Cheerio loves my birds.
Cheerio likes
Did she try to
birds.
eat the bird?
Yeah, she tries to
About
eat
giving me a heart
birds.
attack.
Hey, how many people have dogs? What kind of dogs? Ask Marcy, ask Mrs. Beach if she knows what dogs she has. What kind of dogs?
Jack Russell, Rat Terrier, Pomeranian mix, and English Shepherd. I can't think of the other mix.
Hey,
I can't think of it.
who else has different dogs? Any cats? Cats. What breed of dogs do you all have?
An Alaskan Husky and a miniature Greyhound.
Yep. A what?
I have 3 dogs.
3 dogs.
Poodle and 2 pit bulls.
2 pit bulls. Any other dogs?
I have a husky, German Shepherd mix, puppy.
Wait,
don't worry. And how about you? I don't have dogs, I have cats.
You have cats. What kind of cats? The short-haired kitties or long-haired kitties?
Long hair, but my black one has 6 toes on each paw.
Is it mid pop?
Wow, is that normal?
Certain breeds can have it. We call them
Wow,
mid
that's
paws.
really interesting, I didn't know that.
All right. Any other questions?
I think like we either had a calico or a Russian blue cat once.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you know what is something if you see a calico, what is 95% of the time true about that cat?
They're female.
Exactly. Good job. She gets another candy bar.
Oh my
like
gosh,
you
give her
had.
another treat, Miss Beach.
That was pretty darn good. Yes, that's-
I thought maybe their eyes were different colors.
They can be, yep. Yep. If you see an orange eye, which is called the uvea, in a dog or cat, what does that mean? What can it mean? What's something you want to watch for in that patient as it ages? If it has orange eyes color, what do you want to watch for? It can mean something. If a patient presents to you and you notice that distinctly, you want to tell the owner something. That can mean they have a liver shunt. That they have a liver problem that sometimes you want to keep an eye on. And some of them aren't noticeable until they get older, but it's very common in copper color eyes that they have a liver shunt, cat and
That
dog.
makes sense.
Any other questions? She likes how, but she'll kiss you, so caution. Yes. All right, I think that's all we have.